What's going on YouTube? It's been a while, but we're back with another recipe. This time we're making a cream cheesecake, and we're not using cream cheese. So here we go. As you know, whenever I try to do a recipe, I try to put the best foot forward and make it taste just as good as the original with low calories. This one's going to be high in protein, and you'll be shocked at how good this comes out. I've already made it once and it impressed me. So here's our ingredients. Bear with me, I'm the only one recording, so I'll move this around as I can, but here's our ingredients. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna be shocked at how this comes out. So, if you didn't really see, all we're using is non-fat Greek yogurt. I got this one from Myers, doesn't matter what kind you get. Most of my stuff's from Walmart, of course. Fat-free cottage cheese, and my favorite, maple syrup, Maple Grove. It's only 5 calories per serving. I'm sure you've seen me use it before. Some vanilla and my 0-calorie sweetener. Almost forgot about that. And we are using a pre-made pie crust, but there again, it's about putting your best foot forward. And this one's only 100 calories per serving. It's reduced fat. We are going to weigh everything out. Trusty scale. You know how we roll. I do have an empty pie pan where I made this before, so I didn't weigh out the ingredients or anything when I made it before. Just wanted to make it. This time we're weighing everything out and going to track it so we can see exactly how much calories and protein it is for you. So we'll use this to get a decent, accurate weigh of the crust only and not the pan, so we can be as close as we can to the calories. And you're going to need a blender because you got to blend up the yogurt and the cottage cheese. So if you're ready, let's get started. Alright, here we go. Trusty glasses. I will show you all the weighs and everything on the screen. I'm using a new method to track my food and everything. Macro Factor. It's fantastic. You can go check that out. Maybe I'll do a video on that, you know, here someday. But it's made by a lot of great influencers like Jeff Nippard and all them. So check that out. But here we go. So first thing we're going to need is 378 grams of the cottage cheese. I zeroed out my blender on my scale. We're going to go ahead and plug that in because I have not plugged it in yet. So we're going to need 378 grams of that. I do have a partial one that I got to finish off here. Believe it or not, guys, I don't like cottage cheese. I really don't. But I use it in my waffle batter that I started making. Throw that over there. And I use it in recipes. You can't taste it. Can't taste it. I just can't get around the texture of it to eat it without putting it in a recipe. $378 grams. By the way, I do have my oven already preheated to 350 because this will go in for an hour. So 378 grams of non-fat Greek yogurt. I want to try to be as efficient as possible. Put this to the side. Now we're going to need our Greek yogurt. 240 grams of that. I am going to rinse my spoon off. Be right back. So we zero our scale out again. That way we can get a better accurate. Let's go ahead and plug this figure in 240. Mix up the Greek yogurt a little bit. You know how that water just kind of sits on top. I like to mix it up before I do anything with it. Mess. Now you gotta watch, because the scales can get away from you real quick. And 240, just like that. Get this out of the way. And be right back. Alright guys, we're gonna had to clean up a little bit. Go ahead and put this on the blender. I'm not gonna make you go through all that sound. So once it's done blending, I'll be back with you and we'll move on to the next step. Alright guys, that's done blending, so now we're gonna move on to the next step. That would be too loud. I wouldn't put you through all that. So I guess first things first, let's go ahead and get our pie crust unwrapped and weighed out. And I did have to get a bowl because we got to do the other ingredients separate, and then we mix in the blending of the cottage cheese and Greek yogurt. So, you know what? Let's go ahead and mix up our ingredients first. Pie crust can wait. So grab your bowl. There again, we're using the scale. Put it on the scale and you're going to make sure it's all zeroed out because you don't want the weight of the bowl. Now we do use 2 eggs. So we will weigh out those 2 eggs. Let me get back here on my recordings to plug this in. We're on grams. I always weigh everything in grams. zeroed out. Cat's over here playing with a balled up piece of paper. So we're at 97 grams for the 2 eggs. As you can see here, we're plugging that in. Done with that. Now we're going to add in our maple syrup. That's 56 grams. Look at that. Still had enough. Didn't have to open my other one. So plug that in. 56. Done with that. Now we're going to do our vanilla. I did plug that in. It's only a half a teaspoon of the vanilla. Obviously, it's easier just to get a half a teaspoon measuring spoon. Alright. Now we're going to do our zero sugar, which is not much. It's only about 1 gram, what it equals out to. Or, sorry, 15 grams for this. 15 grams for this. So it's not a lot. But like I said, we're keeping it low calorie, high protein, and it's amazing how this thing sets up. Now it takes a while, an hour to bake, about 4 hours in the fridge to set up, but it sets up beautiful. And there we are. 15 grams of sweetener, any sweetener you like. Doesn't have to be 0 calorie. If you want to make it a little sweeter, I mean, you can use regular sugar, but if you're trying to keep it low calories, then any 0 sugar will work. So, one last little ingredient, just some good old table salt. This is about 1 gram, nothing special. And I'm not even going to use 1 gram because you don't want to over salt it, but it does give it a different flavor and everything, or a different, brings out all the flavors is what I'm trying to say. So now we have everything plugged in our phone. Except for the pie crust. That is the one thing that we did forget, or I forgot. So set this to the side. I like to zero out the scale, put it on there, let it weigh it, and then zero it out again. That way I know that it is zeroed out. So we'll just spin back here. Get this plastic out of this pie crust. So now that we have the pie crust tin that's empty, zeroed out, now when I put this one on, it's just going to weigh the ingredients of the pie crust. So we're at 182, so we'll plug that in. And for this pie crust, it's about 8 servings at 100 calories. And this just goes to tell you guys, alright, so this pie crust weighed 182 grams. So if you look at that label, Sorry if it isn't focusing. 100 calories per serving. You know, 800 or 8 servings. That pie crust alone can get away from you. That's 867 calories just for the pie crust. Now you can make your own. This is just easier. You're not going to sit there and eat the whole pie anyhow, and the rest of the ingredients are going to be phenomenal. So I don't want to say it's going to balance out, but it's better putting your best foot forward with this pie crust. So now that we got everything plugged in, it's asking for basically total weight of all the ingredients. Obviously I don't have that because it's not all in the pie pan yet. You can, once you pour the mixture into the pie pan, which you will have extra mixture, so you can do something with it if you want, then you can weigh it again. Just zero out your pie crust tin and then weigh it, and you'll get the total weight in grams, and you can plug it in there, which I think we'll do that. So now we need to mix this all up. Whisk this all up. Get the eggs and the sugar and vanilla and syrup all mixed up. Grab our mixture. We got our mixture here, and then we got, watch this guys, this is the Greek yogurt and the cottage cheese mixed, blended together. It's so creamy and smooth. Look at that. You would never know that was cottage cheese, and I promise you, you won't taste it either. Set this to the side. Now all you're going to do is whisk it all together. Okay, set this over to the sink. Take our pie crust and just pour it in, guys. Might not look like much, but once that cooks and sets up, leave a little bit of crust up there. Like I said, you will have some batter left over, not a lot. But let me show you this.
For that, you'll have to turn off airplane mode.
Google decided she was going to throw her 2 cents in, but there it is, guys. So I'm going to toss it in the oven for an hour, and I'll see you back here when it's done. I almost forgot. One thing we forgot to do, guys, is weigh out the total ingredients for macro factor. So let's get our empty pie pan on the scale. Turn the scale on. Zero that out. Put our filled pie crust on there. And we're at 733 grams. So let's go back to macro factor. Put that weight in, 733. That's 1 serving. I'm going to fill all this out later. You don't have to, but I will. So let's just do it. We'll do 60 minutes. That's an hour. That's prepare time, so no. Typically, if I'm not recording, this wouldn't have took long. I'm just gonna say 15 minutes. Cook time's an hour. And we will go ahead and now let's see. So for this entire cheesecake, once it's done, as you can see, it's only 1,388 calories with 85 grams of protein, 40 fat, and 179 grams of carbs. Which your carbs are coming from the pie crust. The pie crust is hard. But go to Cheesecake Factory and get one piece of cheesecake and you're already damn near at those calories. And like I said, you're not going to eat this every day. And depending on how many slices you slice it up, you know, the calories are going to be low for you. So I'm going to throw this in the oven and I'll see you when it's done. Well, we're back, guys. We've got less than a minute before this comes out. Boy, time flies by when you're having fun. The beauty of camera work, you guys didn't have to wait that hour. So as soon as that timer goes off, we'll get her pulled out. Try to face this down there the best I can. Bring it a little closer. There we go. Timer. We'll just cancel that. You ready for this, guys? Oh, this one puffed up a little bit. Probably put a little too much batter in it, but that's alright. There it is, guys. Now it'll probably come down. Obviously, like I said, we want to make sure she sets good. Put her in the fridge for about 4 hours, but I'm going to leave it on the stove to cool down. I don't want to throw it in the fridge piping hot. But you know, it will come down. I definitely filled the batter up pretty good. As soon as it gets put in the fridge and comes out, I'll show you the end results and we'll cut into a piece. But until then, you know, we'll get back to you and we'll see the end results of this. Smells good. See you then. Alright, guys, well, it's been well over 4 hours, give or take, getting ready to pull it out of the fridge and see what we got. Might not look the prettiest, but I guarantee it's going to be phenomenal and it's going to hold up just like a regular cheesecake. So let's give it a cut. Now we are going to weigh this out so I can show you exactly what the calories are for all this. So pull this up. We're gonna add to the library. Now I'm not pulling this up on the screen so you can see it, but I will show you what it weighs out. Alright, we found it. it was hidden in there. Like I said, I'm using a new app to track my food. I love it, but this is probably only the first time I've made a recipe using this app here. So now we're going to go ahead and cut it. We're going to turn our scale on, zero our plate out. Let's go ahead and cut this. Now I'm no professional pie cutter. Now I can weigh this out in grams, as you will see. So I just cut it into, what, 2, 4, 6, 8 pieces or so. Make sure my scale is still on, zeroed out, which it is. Look at that, guys. Except for my fork, you know, but that's set up really nice. As you can see, it's not liquidy, it's set up really nice. So this is going to be 68 grams. So for that piece of cheesecake, it's only 129 calories, 8 grams of protein, only 3.7 grams of fat, and 16.7 grams of carbs. Now, like I said, the majority of those carbs is because of that crust. Now, you can make a crustless cheesecake and you will slice these calories almost in half, because as you saw, when I did this and weighed out the crust, it was almost 800 calories by itself. I like a crust. It's not that big of a deal with the macros here for this piece. Obviously, you know, a bigger piece will be a little more, but go to, like I said, go to Cheesecake Factory or anywhere else and get a piece of cheesecake for those calories, let alone almost 1,400 calories for the entire thing. Most pieces of cheesecake are going to be damn near up in the 1,000 calories, especially at Cheesecake Factory. So I'm going to add that because I am going to eat this. So we can taste test it for the first time, and you can see. Just look at that. I mean, you can't get any better than that. Now let's taste test it. Now see, that literally tastes like I've used cream cheese. It's set up nice, might not look the prettiest, but it tastes just as good as the original for way less calories. And if you really want to spice it up, there again, putting the best foot forward, keeping the calories low. Some sugar-free strawberry jam. It's only 10 calories per serving. Give it a good shake. Put some of that on there. Now that didn't add hardly, that might be 10 calories if that. Now let's take another taste test. That strawberry jam gives it a different level, different taste. Like I said, guys, you can lower the calories on this significantly without using the crust, or if you want to make your own crust, making it lower calories. I just chose to do it this way. Give this recipe a try. And like I've always said, keep a lion mindset. Don't let anything stand in your way. Keep pushing. Put your best foot forward. And I guarantee you will see your results. You will reach your goals. and hard work never lies. So keep that in mind. And we'll see you in the next one.